Have you ever wondered why it's as if it is easier for some people to make money while you are not? Maybe you have a group of friends that you talk with, you gist, you laugh, but you just notice that somehow it seems easier for this person to succeed, to have results in his endeavors while you are struggling. Or probably you are learning a skill and all of a sudden here comes this person, the same skill you are learning, and it seems as if this person is having more progress. In fact, the person has started earning more than you in that same skill, while it seems like you are struggling. Let me tell you the truth, it is not random. There is a reason for that, and in this video I want to show you why you are experiencing that and what you should do about it. If you are meeting me for the first time, I am Ole Badofos, and what I do on this channel is that I read books, and I come here not just to do a summary of the books, but to teach practical things that I myself am learning from the book. So if you are someone who loves to read but probably you don't have time, or maybe you are someone who just wants a channel where you can learn for your self-development, then this is the right channel for you. If you find this interesting, feel free to subscribe and like this video so that others will also get to see it. For my teaching today, I'm going to be sharing my lessons from this book. This particular book has literally changed my life. I first read it in 2023 and the book so much impacted my life and shifted my earning potential. So it's a book I don't joke with. And this book is this very short book, small but mighty. I don't know if you know this book. This is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Hafti Eka. I hope that's how it's being pronounced, Hafti Eka. If you have read this book, I want you to write in the comment section the year you read it. Everything I'm going to be discussing today, we are all inspired by this book. For sure, I'm going to add my practical insights and the inspiration I got, but this book grossly inspired it. So make sure you keep out all distractions and watch till the end. First of all, I need you to note this. We live in a world of dualities. What do I mean by that? If you check, you see that God made things in such a way that they always have two sides. For instance, we have up and we have down. The reason why we have down is because we have up, and the reason why we have up is because there is a down. Here is another instance. We have right, we have wrong. The reason why we have wrong is because we have right, and the reason why we have right is because we have wrong. I can go on and on and on and on. You see that life is made up of dualities. All right, that's the same way we have in and we have out. Now, one of the problems why people struggle to succeed in certain things, especially when it has to do with business and their finances, is the fact that they focus so much on the outer laws of money and neglect the inner laws of money. Let me make it clear to you. It's not like the outer laws of money is bad. It's not bad. But the truth is, if your inner laws of money are not correct, if they are not intact, if they have not been polished yet, you will always not have the results you desire in the outer laws of money. By outer laws of money, what do I mean? You talk about opening a business, savings, investments, and all these things. These are the outer laws of money, the things you can do physically, right? Business is physical, investment, decisions, and all those. But the truth is, if your inner laws of money, your mental blueprint isn't correct, you are going to have issues with your output. If you want to have a better output, then you must pay attention to the input. Having agreed that we have the outer and the inner laws of money, this is the second thing I need you to note as we progress. Let me use a tree as an instance. In a tree, we have the roots and we have the stem, the outside, the one we can see. People don't see the roots, but they can see the stem and the outward path. And guess what? The roots is what determines the outcome, the part that people can see. If you have a mango tree and all of a sudden you don't want mangoes again, and you go and pluck down all the mangoes on that tree, and you tell yourself that by the next season it's going to give you cashew, guess what? We all know what will happen. By that next season, because the roots is still the same, what are you still going to have? You are still going to have the same fruit, mango. Like, this is so clear. This is why I love nature. Everything is so clear, like there's no manipulation. Listen, if you want to change the outward, if you want to change your results, if you want to change the fruits, then you have to change the roots. There is no two ways about it. You have to pay attention to the roots. There is something about your mindset. There is something which the author of that book calls your money blueprint. There is a money blueprint you have that makes it look as if you struggle to get the same thing that probably your friend or someone your age gets with ease. I'm telling you, like, you have to believe this. It's not random. Instead of you to fight it and say, I don't believe this, people have leverage and this. Yeah, there is leverage. But guess what? Probably that leverage helped that person's money blueprint. I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. What I mean by the leverage helps shape the person's money blueprint. Let's say that there are two people right now, okay? Hope you're with me. Are you tracking? Let's say that there are two people right now. We have a poor family and a rich family, okay? So this poor family gave birth and took their child when the child was 6 months old to an orphanage home. All right. So are you tracking? Like, just follow this. This is a fiction story. Just follow. And let's say that the rich family also gave birth to a child the same 6 months, and maybe they went somewhere or something happened and they lost the child, and the poor family now carried the child home. Just follow this teaching. And now, that poor family's child that is in the orphanage, the rich parents came and paid for the child and took the child home. So, in other words, I'm trying to say that the rich parents are with the poor parents' child, and the poor parents are with the rich parents' child. What do you think is going to happen 20 years later when those two children emerge? Do you think because the rich parents' child, which is obviously the poor parents, do you think because he has the blood of the rich parent, do you think he's going to become rich? No. Because he was in an environment where he has constantly had things like, I don't have money, there is no money, listen, we have to manage this and this and that. These things automatically shapes who he becomes and how he thinks, how he sees the world, how he sees abundance or lack. So even though he was born by the rich parents, but because he didn't grow with them, he wasn't mentally framed to be like them. And guess what? He is going to suffer. Now, the same thing with the poor child that grew up with the rich parents. Because he stayed with them, he's going to grow up and the abundance will look normal to him. I'm saying this to say that you were not born a poor person and you were not born a rich person. We all learned it here. Like, I need you to digest that. Are you tracking what I'm saying? You were not born a poor person. Your money or income level will be determined by your growth. So if you want to earn more, if you want your income potential to increase, you have to increase who you are. Just in case you were born into a poor family, I want you to know this is the honest truth. All right? You have been trained to be poor. This is a reality I accepted, and you sure have to accept it if you want to make progress. Because it's when you accept that fact that you begin to retrain your mind. You cannot make money more than your money blueprint, your mental blueprint. Like I said in the beginning, what is not seen controls what is seen. This is why you see there are people that have made certain amounts of money and they lost it all. So I need you to think about this particular question that I'm about to ask you right now. What is your money blueprint? What is your money blueprint? Listen, this thing is not some folktale. Of course, like I said, when I read these things, I don't just come here to tell you what an author is saying. No, these are things I literally sit down, meditate for myself, like I find them true. If it weren't true, I won't come and share it with you. Now, that being said, there are 3 ways your inner success blueprint has been influenced in life. For every human being on earth, we are influenced these 3 ways. So, in case yours is negative, as I'm going to talk about these 3 now, I need you to sit down to think about your own, how you were affected by it, and start making amends. Number 1 is verbal programming. What did you hear about money? What did you hear about rich people? Did you hear things like money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy people, or stuff like that? We all know that. Like sometimes it's a joke, sometimes your parents say them, sometimes there is no money here, and stuff like that. We don't have money. You have to manage, you have to do these things. And most times these things we are said in complete genuineness. But let me tell you the truth, we are literally affecting what you think about money. You might not agree with me, probably because you've traveled and maybe you've had discussions with some people and you just think, it's not. See, you have to understand that your brain relates more with emotion than logic. This is why, have you not seen people that they know that this thing is wrong? All right, they know that they can do this thing, they know that they can earn this amount if they do this certain work, but they still won't do that. Have you not experienced something like that or seen people who have that kind of problem? It's because your brain follows emotion more than logic. It connects more with emotion, your depth. So when someone in his depth has inconsistency or loves laziness, even though the person knows I should do this particular work I'm making, he's still not going to do that. It's not about motivation. It's not just by saying it for saying sake. Does your brain, your inner blueprint, does it truly believe it's so? All right, so you need to sit down and begin to vet what are the things you heard about money. Do you know that there are people that believes that you cannot make certain amounts of millions or billions if you don't soil your hands with evil? People still believe it. People still believe that you need to do some maneuvering, some illegal stuff if you are going to make, should I call it shit ton of money now or what? Like in 21st century, people still believe that. So you see, these are limiting beliefs. So even though they go out and labor, what people call hustle, they won't still amount to much. The truth is, you don't make money just by hard work. Like, settle it down. If money was by hard labor, I believe that some value pushers or some people doing hard work, I'm not trying to demean any job, all right? Some people doing some kind of hard job would have been the richest. But see, that's the thing about money. It's not by hard work alone. Hard work alone is not what guarantees wealth. What you work hard on determines your wealth. So it's not just about hard work, it's about what you are working hard on. That's what some people say, smart work and value. All right. What have you heard about money? Sometimes it's not living from your parents. Maybe if you came from a poor background, you probably lived in a poor environment. So what did you learn about money? Personally, I've not read that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, but I know about the storyline. That's why you see Robert Kiyosaki, the man was truly helped. Why? Because he left the environment and went to who he called Rich Dad. So he didn't just allow what he was taught, both consciously and subconsciously, he didn't just allow that to impact his life. He placed himself in a position where he can be rethought and a new seed, a new money blueprint can be implanted in him. This is why, believe it or not, you see what we call coaching, you see this term discipleship is very important. Believe it or not, you are being discipled right now. Some of you, what's discipling you now is kit makers, because that's where you spend 5 hours on. You spend 5 hours scrolling, doom scrolling, like your organization is disorganized. Like, how do I put it for you to understand? You know, the brain organizes things, right? It puts things in compact. That's your compactness is discompacted, if there's anything like that. Because you are not just learning from a particular source that is verifiable. You are just learning random. You watch this skit, you watch this short, you watch this, like your brain is literally confused, too unfocused to thrive in life. What you hear affects your money blueprint. So you need to vet yourself. What did you hear about money that ain't true, that you are still holding on to right now? Wealthy people are not evil. What have you heard about money that is not necessarily true? You have to think about it and vet your thoughts. All right, you may need to sit down, think you're writing it down, because this has to be an intentional journey. Sometimes I'm dumbfounded that people are willing to spend 5 years in university but never spend 6 hours vetting their finances. Excuse me, if you check, up to 80% of the reason you are going to school is to make money, and you don't want to even spend 2 hours working on yourself, working on your mental blueprint. Like, make it make sense. Anyway, that's by the way. Number 2 is modeling. This was the one that resonated with me so much, like it was so profound and real. What did you see growing up? What was the relationship between your parents, your guardians, the people in your environment, and money? Were they savers or were they spenders? Were they good at investments or were they bad at it? Were they always with money? Sometimes money is in their hands and some other times it isn't. So I need you to picture your family right now and picture how it has been, or maybe if you lived with somebody, picture how it has always been, and believe me, that has also impacted your inner money blueprint. This one resonated with me so much, because I discovered that there were things, patterns I saw while growing up, things that happened with my father's finances, and they were happening to me, like they began happening to me, and I was like, well, a minute, with all this little exposure I've gotten, this still happens. I'm telling you, it's true. If you grew up in a place where at some point there is money, all right, and at some other point it's as if there is bankruptcy, like literally nothing, I'm telling you, it's going to replicate in your life if you don't work on that. So you see, this thing is something you need to honestly sit down. What are the patterns in your family? What are the things that happened that won't repeat itself again? Maybe you came from a family where there are no investments. Every money they make is just to eat. So they make money, they eat money. Like till now, there is no cash flow. If the current work your parents were doing, if it ended, you are literally going to starve or eat sparingly for that period. then you see that it's a modeling that you need to work on. Because believe it or not, your brain has associated money with that, because that's what it grew up with. It has associated money as something that is not always there, something that is in scarcity. But you see, you need to work on your mindset so that it will associate progress, success, money with abundance. Because believe me, money is in abundance. If you came from such family, you see, you have something to work on. You need to work on budgeting. Yeah, there are families like that. They don't literally have any investments, nothing like that. Every money they make has one goal: food. And if peradventure the work they are currently doing stops or they fall sick, that period, survival is just on God, hopefully. Like, you get what I mean? So you need to sit down and discover which of those patterns did you experience, so that you can rewrite this story. There are people that they save, they starve and save. There are families like that. Like, literally, some needs can be on, like there might be a need, but they would rather starve and save. They won't invest. That's what they know about. Like, they save. And you and I know that if you are just saving money where there is no interest and everything, the money is depreciating. So you need to consciously train yourself to be wealthy. That's one, training yourself. And secondly, you need to find yourself in certain communities or with a mentor that can teach you, that you can learn from. Remember, this is called modeling. So it's not just about you reading, you need to see it. Listen to me. If the bad money blueprint was impacted to you by modeling, it will be changed by modeling. This is why I am an advocate of exposures, like good exposure. If you have an opportunity to attend the seminar, please do. If you have an opportunity to a rich man, please talk with them, visit them as often as you can. I'm telling you, something is changing. Your mind will begin to associate wealth with abundance. The problem is that sometimes people want these things to happen in twinkle of an eye, but it's a progressive work. Even your bad money blueprint was a result of a progressive work. Let's say that you are 20 right now, or you are 18 right now watching this. That means for 18 years, you were successfully taught how to be poor. If you are 35, like, you see, you are getting the fact now, right? Now, all of a sudden, you want your new teaching about money to just happen in an instance. No, it's a progressive work. Study so much, work on your mind so much that it will be impossible for it to produce failure. Remember what I told you, the root determines the output. So if your root is good, your output is definitely gonna be good. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you tracking? What model were you shown? You need to discover it and change it. Number 3 is specific incidents. One of the things that impacts people's money blueprint is the specific incident that happened while they were young. There are people that are poor right now because they associate money with pain. Probably someone they love so much died because they didn't have money. And maybe they begged someone that had money then to help them, and the person refused. Now, they associate money with oppression, with pain. There are many examples. So you need to check what are the specific incidents that happened to you while you were young. Some people, if they make money, they are literally going to give everything away, because to them, they now see holding money as evil. For instance, let's say that when somebody was young, something happened, and because of that incident, there was no money and they lost the person, or that incident happened, they couldn't do anything, they were helpless. You see, years later, when that person starts making money, he will try to dispatch the money. He will try to give it all out. You see the person barely making good decisions with the money. You see the person barely keeping or investing the money. There are people that because of their money blueprint, they can't make right investment decisions. Everything that they invest in will fail. Any business they enter into, it will fail. Any stock they enter into, it will fall. So I need you to do something. I need you to think and find out what's your money blueprint. Let me end by telling you this. Anybody can change. You can change. It all starts with awareness. Thank God that you watched this video and you've watched it to this extent. It all starts from awareness. When you are aware that there is a problem, that's when you can seek for solution and find solution. I'm trying to let you know that your life can become better if you would pay close attention to the content of your inner self. Pay attention to them. What is your money blueprint? I'm going to end this video now. If you have a question, feel free to drop it in the comment section. I will try as much as I can to respond to all of the comments. All I just spoke about now is just the part 1 of this book. The book just has 2 chapters. If you want me to talk on the part 2, I want you to write it in the comment section. Write something like, I am expecting part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.